spring
And then
break.
Joel may be by phone as well, but he is he's visiting Dolly.
We're on.
So I'll
Is
let
that
you know.
Dollywood?
We've got Joel and Catherine and Mayor Oliver are on the call here.
All right, welcome everybody. Lynn, you said you're ready?
Yep.
All right.
And Kevin,
Good morning.
Good morning. If you would, since we got some folks on the phone, just say who our visitors are and
Okay.
okay.
All right. We'll call this meeting to order of the April 9th Ad-Hoc Reconstitution and Executive Committee meeting. We have two special guests today. Gentlemen, thank you for coming. Y'all both came to our sewer board meeting earlier this week and invited you to come here, so glad you did. Would you like to introduce yourselves just so we can get your names in the record?
Sure, Kirk Luna, and I live in Cross Creek, 510 Dye Drive.
And I'm Brad Davin, and I live at 3100 Chatham Drive.
Yeah, and there is odor issues from the plant going into their
Cross Creek,
neighborhood,
okay.
and Chris and his staff are working on that. I did notice, Chris, it was a little pungent coming in this morning. Not thinking about you. And I guess you said that that's because of like sometimes the early morning, the turnover of the water.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's not uncommon at all, especially this time of year, spring and fall, that you have a little bit of an odor in the mornings and that it will dissipate in the afternoon and come back in the evenings.
Okay, but you guys are still working on that Mister system to help reduce.
We are. I spoke to Mr. Luna just a few minutes before the meeting today to let him know we finally received the quotes from the folks down in Georgia, and we'll get moving on that.
All right. And Mayor Oliver, welcome. Glad to have you with us again.
Good morning.
And if you need to take anybody to the schoolhouse, you just let us know. We'll let you go.
Not today. I called and found out what time his bus actually showed up. So he knows now that I'm not crazy and I know that there is a bus.
Premeditation plan.
Can't
Let's
get
find out what time the
past
bus is.
All right, and you said we have Catherine Amadon and Joel Jones on the call as well,
Yes, sir.
and probably not going to have Lawrence. Is that correct?
I don't believe so. He's not on, and he indicated to me that he probably would not be joining us.
All right, so we'll move on to item B, approval of the minutes. We have a copy of the minutes in front of us, and go ahead and give you another copy of that. All right. Hope everyone has had a chance to. I gave you. Hope everybody's had a chance to review the minutes. Are there any comments, questions? Is there a motion?
So moved.
A motion to approve. Second. Is there any further discussion, comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Moving on to item C, committee discussion and action items, update on South Carolina Senate Bill 829, Joint System Governance by Lawrence Flynn and Chris Eliezer. So Chris, I guess you're the one taking this.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, Mr. Chair. So, in anticipation of this, Lawrence just went ahead and sent me an update, and I'll just read what he stated below. That Senate Bill 829 was given third reading and unanimous approval, 40-0 by the Senate on March 19th. It was introduced in the House on March 24th and referred to the House Committee on the Judiciary, where it currently sits, and he sent this on a week ago. With 6 weeks left in session, we are in good position to see this bill passed into law before the end of session on May 14th.
All right.
I think they've been on furlough or been out of session for a couple weeks. So
All right.
And that concludes the update.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for Chris related to that? Or comments? All right, moving on to item number C2, update on Reftellus and First Tryon financial studies. Miss Angie Medley.
okay, so I have we gave both Raftellus and First Tryon access to the all of the data that we had compiled through the study. So they've gone through all of that. So I have an updated data request list from both entities that I'm going to send out. I'll give it to Chris so he can share that with everyone. Raft Ellis and First Tryon would like to come to the meeting next month and treat that as kind of like a informal kickoff, if you will, of the study. So if you all are in agreement on that, I've talked to both entities and they're on board. So.
All right, let's handle the last part first. Is there any objection to having those two groups come be a part of our meeting next month? Okay, Angela, I think we're good on that.
And honestly, the list is really just kind of updating some of the types of documents that we had, just more recent years. So it shouldn't be that big of a lift for anybody. But we'll get that out to you today. And what we'll do is you all still have access, I believe, to your respective folder, OneDrive folder that Catherine sent to you. You can just upload it into there, and both teams have access to all of that, so that will make it easy. We're not going to shuffle paper around. We can just put it in that file, and it's there.
Catherine, could I ask you to resend that link? Because I'm just, like, right off the top of my head, I'm certain I still have the email you sent to that, and I know I uploaded stuff into it, but kind of given the volume of work, it would be helpful if I had a fresh link.
Yeah, I think we can do that. Catherine, can we probably just send everybody a fresh link?
Because I knew that request was going to come right from you, Kevin. So, yes, I will get this.
Dang, I hate when I'm that predictable to you, Catherine.
And, so I think that kind of transitions a little bit into some other, I guess maybe we go on to item 3, and then the really starting of the financial studies, I think, raises some questions that we need to kind of discuss here today. So I'll let you go on, and then we'll.
Okay. Before we move on, are there any questions for Angie on anything that she said?
I do. Do you want to have like a deadline for when this stuff will be provided?
We'll give that to you. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think it would probably be good for just thinking, at least for the Raft Ellis, since we know that stuff has to go first. Have it before our May meeting if possible. Again, it should be stuff that you already have. If it's asking for FY27, if it's not available right now, that's fine. So.
All right. So we will move on with Angie's advice to item C3, communication with elected officials and leadership, feedback, and future memo requests. Ms. Catherine Amidon.
Right. Appreciate your patience with memos 3 and 4, as they are a little more complex than the first 2. So, but memo 3, as a reminder, is going to be kind of explaining, like, essentially who does what role when it comes to development. And so we spent a lot of time as a facilitation team working on that memo, and then we leaned into Chip to kind of be a subject matter expert on the planning side to kind of check the inputs we put in from the planning side, and then we also had Lawrence review that memo as well. It is in final format. I'm awaiting final thumbs up from our facilitation team, and then that will go out to the group, I hope today or tomorrow. That memo is not a tight 2 pages, mostly because it's just a little bit more complex, explaining the background behind how development occurs and the utilities role versus the local government's jurisdictional control, whether that be town, city, or county. And we try to be relatively comprehensive with what is allowed by state statute and the Local Government Comprehensive Planning Enabling Act of 1994. And we hyperlink that as well. So hopefully folks can gain additional information if they want. So I will send that out this week, and then I'll give through the end of next week for that review with this committee, and then it'll go out PDF'd like memo 1 and 2.
Catherine,
Before I move on
Yeah.
to memo 4, any comments, questions?
yeah, I was just going to say, just a reminder to the group that memo 3 came out of some of our discussions that we had where there were questions about being able to control growth if the consolidation occurs and how that looks. So it's clarifying that piece of it where, nothing with not having your sewer system takes away any of your other powers and abilities to control growth or to direct growth or so.
And so Catherine and Chris, I guess this is a combo question, thinking of our guest being here today. And for the general public, do you put those on the OGRSA website or to have a way to get those out to folks that are interested who may not be?
Yes, sir. I do. I'll put them on the website. And what I'll do with this, I guess they'll be received individually, I'll probably put them up individually as opposed to a combined 3 and 4.
Okay. And if people are looking at the website, how would they find it?
It should be on the front page, ogrsa.org. Scroll down to the bottom, and then if it's not there, it'll only hold like the most 3 recent items that I put on there, and that includes meeting minutes and agendas. So if it's not there, you can go to the ogrsa.org/info, scroll down to the bottom, and there's an archives tab, so you can access it in the archives.
Sounds like you built that just after Dick Mangram's website on the WGOD. Does that same iteration you had?
Well, this may be changed in the next 6 weeks because we're revamping the website. So I'll let you know when I find out about that.
You know about the ADA. Yeah. Okay.
I do. That's why we're having to go through that
Yeah.
exercise.
All right, Catherine, did you have a chance to say everything you were looking to say on your communication update?
No,
No.
I'll dive real quick into it in memo 4, just as a reminder of what memo 4 is, if you don't mind.
Yep.
So memo 4, we kind of combined 3 topics that were requested also during kind of the one-on-one meetings. One being, hey, can we just get an update on that timeline? So we're going to provide that. Second, we were requested a elevator speech, which I'm going to call a project status summary, which is intended to be really short, like 3 sentences on what the current status is of the project itself. And then third, that list of potential future communication memo topics, which we knocked out several between memos 3 and 4, but kind of just keeping that running list in mind so that folks know what is already on our radar and then have the opportunity to continue to request new topics if needed. And then those 3 items were requested to be kind of an attachment to all future memos and be updated as we see fit so that that project timeline doesn't come out sporadically. It just comes out with every memo as an example. So you'll see that one come out shortly after memo 3. I won't send them on the same day just to give you guys a little bit of space between the 2. And then if you have any other memo requests, now would be a good time to tell us and we can add them to the current list. As a reminder, the potential memo topics that we have left are not appropriate to write yet because we're awaiting the results of the work from Raftellus and First Tryon, but the 3 are kind of an order of operations responsible party. Like what happens if this, and this being like a sewer backup, who's fixing it? And so that really depends on the direction we take with the reconstitution process itself. The second is a memo about rates, just informing the public what the new rate structure would be. Of course, we don't have an answer to that right now. And then the wholesale agreement, what would that entail? So those are the 3 that are on our parking lot list. If if you will, for future communication memo topics. So if anybody has others that they'd like to voice today, I will take them.
Are there any questions or comment or topics for Catherine to consider? So Catherine, I agree with you. I think once we start working with Brett Tellis and First Tryon, I think questions will start to come up again. But for now, you probably have them answered in those two memos. All right, Catherine, do you have anything else?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, well, good. All right, moving on to item C4, recap and update of one-on-one meetings. Catherine Amadon, Angie Medlin, and Joel Jones.
Awesome. I'll start. So just a reminder, especially because we've got some guests today. So the goal of the one-on-one meetings is during the feasibility study, which 2 of your 3 facilitators, aka me and Angie, participated on. A little over 2 years ago, we met one-on-one with all the parties. So that would be the 3 municipalities, the county, and OJRSA to kind of get a feel for what's going on, what's the current status, how do you guys feel about the Reconstitution process in general. And so we re-upped those this spring. We have met with almost everybody. I'll just do a quick rundown. We met with Walhalla, Seneca, and Westminster. We also met with more recently, we met with Chip Bentley at ACOG to just kind of make sure we're understanding any comments from him regarding the 208 process. We also met with Chris Eliezer this week to discuss one-on-one OJRSA concerns and questions. And the only meeting we have not been successful having is a one-on-one follow-up with Oconee County. I have personally reached out via email and multiple phone calls, multiple follow-ups via email, and also in person. We requested availability at last month's meeting, and we have not received a response from any member of Oconee County, so that meeting has not occurred. Just a reminder, the goal here is it's a check-in. We're trying to make sure we have transparency between each group of what the concerns are that could possibly derail this process, and making sure that we're thinking of ways to mitigate those concerns before we get to the finish line. So really wanted to have that meeting with Oconee County, but they have been unresponsive.
And I will, we also met with West Union as well. So yeah, Catherine's exactly,
yes, thank you.
Catherine's exactly correct. We've been able to meet with everyone. So Mr. Hart, we appreciate the county passing the resolution. I know that was one piece of it. So, but we really, particularly now we're moving into a phase where money is going to be spent on these financial studies. We need to make sure that we know where everybody is and that everybody is still involved in the process. So it's really important that we be able to meet with you all, or if you've got an update today on the county's position, are you guys going to stay in? Are you not going to stay in? What's the disposition of the county?
I would suggest that y'all get together, and our next meeting will be, I think, the 21st of this month. You could call the administrator and ask to have y'all's meeting set up to be an executive session, and you'll have all 5 members of council there, and you can spill your beans there, and we can see which way we're going to mop them up.
Okay. Is there, Catherine, did we want to touch on one of the things, just to let everyone know, when this study was originally, the RFQ was done, the first study, and RIA put this out. One of the participants that was listed was Anderson County. when we started this process, we talked to everybody about including Anderson County. And the overwhelming response we got was, no, don't include Anderson County. That's not on the table. So we need to kind of understand that as well. Catherine, since you were involved in the other master plan, did you want to speak to that?
Yeah, thank you. I think the real question we have here is, during the Fair Play study, which preceded the whole county master plan that was completed in 2024 for OJRSA, we did include Census Tract 109 in Anderson County because of just hydrologically and landmass wise, it made sense to include that piece as it's very interconnected with Oconee County from just a proximity perspective. And Anderson did participate during those stakeholder meetings, though did not really share any information or plans for their intentions with sewer in that area. And so I think, Glenn, we're curious if conversations have re-upped with Anderson County about a joint venture with sewer, or if that has not been a conversation recently.
Well, as all good councilmen, we keep all the options open that would be best for Oconee County.
I mean, I would think we need to clean up our own house before we start inviting guests. I mean, this process started as a means to reconstitute the governing body of the sewer authority. I mean, if there's partnership opportunities for regionalization of sewer expansion and capital improvements and service delivery, I would certainly think that could be done with Anderson County with this new body once it's created. And that just seems to be an operational relationship versus a management relationship of an organization that's predominantly serving Oconee County. So, I mean, I certainly think that we're more than capable of managing this process, which we've shown, without inviting in somebody who has a very small involvement in the future of this county and this organization.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Okay. Well, we appreciate that. So, Mr. Hart, what we'll do is we'll reach back out to Stuart. You said April 21st is the meeting?
Yes, ma'am. If I hadn't got the date wrong, it's the third Tuesday.
Third Tuesday. Okay, perfect. Okay, very good. Anything else, Catherine?
Not unless Glenn wants to just elaborate on what keeping the options open means.
Y'all remember my first meeting, I told you what they told me? To nod my head yes or nod it no, but to keep my mouth shut, so I'm gonna follow those instructions.
System look pretty.
Okay. Well, again, particularly since we're starting this financial piece of it, it's really important that we get clarity on who's in, who's out, where we're going, because that really factors in to what Raftellus and First Tryon are doing. And I don't want them to spend, and I don't want everybody to spend extra money on something that doesn't make sense or is not going to happen. So.
All right, Angie, Catherine, anything else from either of you related to that one? Any questions from the group? All right, thank you. Moving on to item C5, future meeting schedule, Miss Angie Miller.
Yeah, so we had talked, the facilitation team had talked about perhaps changing the cadence of our meeting once Raftellus and First Tryon begin to do their work, since there might not be a whole lot more to discuss while they're doing that. I think we want to meet in May to give them the opportunity to get here, but I just want to discuss if everyone agrees with that, or do you want to keep on the monthly schedule? We just felt like there might be, particularly going into the summer months where there's a lot of vacation, a lot of things like that.
I'm all in favor of not having a meeting in July.
Okay.
Because that's a challenging time.
Okay.
in my schedule, but that's,
So maybe, so if we meet in May, maybe we don't meet in June and July, and we may meet in August, and that would give,
well, that would give those guys
Right.
plenty of time to do their work, and I don't think any of us are looking for a meeting for meeting's sake.
Right.
So
right,
if you guys don't think that's too long to go, I guess I'm kind of thinking about what they're going to do, and that's going to take a little bit of months.
Right.
And then they're going to have the same thing. Where
Right.
Their staff takes a lot of or opportunities for folks to take summer vacations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there any other input from the rest of the group that we have the meeting in May, and then from May we skip to August? We do not have a June or July meeting unless you guys think there's one that's necessary. Let us know, and we'll.
Yeah.
If nothing else, we can always convene at a board meeting.
Right.
If there's something small.
Okay, yeah.
And the studies that are ongoing now, what was the estimated time frame for completion?
So the Raftellus, I don't have the one for First Tryon because it's predicated on Raftellus. Let me go and I'll give you what Melissa told me. So this has shifted a little bit because they'll technically be doing the kickoff meeting in May when they come here. So it looks like they'll probably be done with a final report, I would say, by late September, early October. So
I mean, because I really think that's the next big piece of
It is.
information we need to really continue
Yeah.
significant discussions. I mean, I know there's still other communications that need to take place, but I mean, I think given that schedule, June and July, taking those off is fine.
yeah, and it looks like again, with the schedule shifting, they would have Raftellus would have some preliminary results probably by that August meeting. So that could work out great. Yeah.
Any other input, feedback from the rest of the group? Does that seem to work?
I was just gonna add that if there's any, even if it's just a yes, they're still moving along, you can always just add it to the miscellaneous director update
Okay.
during the
Maybe,
board
how about-
meeting.
How about this? Maybe it would be good if one of the facilitators could possibly attend, even if it's remote, one of the board meetings in either June or July,
Yeah,
our
yeah.
scheduled meeting, and give an update, because by
Sure.
that time we'll know about the change in
Yeah.
law,
Yeah. We can do that.
and
That-
just give
that
a general
works.
update at that time to the board.
Yeah, that works. We can do that for sure. Yeah.
So we'll look to come back as this committee back again in August after the meeting.
After-
We'll still
correct.
have May.
Yes. And that will be focused primarily on letting the two financial teams meet everybody and just kind of have the informal kickoff from there.
That sounds good. Sounds good to me.
Okay.
You're good with that. Mr. Hart, you good with that? All right. Anything else on that one, Angie?
That's it.
All right. Moving on to item D, committee member discussion. Is there anybody on the committee that'd like to throw something new on the table, bring up all grievances, do feats of strength?
Strength.
I
The rest of us.
I'm sorry. I didn't even mean to go there.
You're just filling in for Lawrence since he's not here to give us his reverse Goldilocks.
Yeah, well,
I appreciate that type of humor.
If I can make a metaphor that doesn't work, I know I'm doing what Lawrence did.
Yeah. Reverse Goldilocks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll start with you and just kind of go around the table. Anything else from you?
At this point, I'm good. In the coming months, when we continue having discussions with our council, I mean, if there's anything that comes up, obviously we can reach out to Angie, to Catherine, and let people know. So it's not like we're cutting off contact.
Yeah. And you will, I mean, I think the goal is for us to have these two memos in your hand, so you'll have kind of that.
Prior to the-
Yeah.
And I think those are two important ones.
Yeah.
Chip, Mr. Hart.
No, I don't have anything outside of the schedule that meeting.
Okay,
I'll see you there.
okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Hart. We appreciate it.
Chris?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any questions or comments from you gentlemen? I know this is, may be trying to catch up with all the lingo we're using, topic we're talking about, but,
I can personally say I appreciate the ability to be here and the transparency. And I'm just gonna do like Mr. Hart and shake my head.
Which day are you going down?
This will be my first year in 24 years that I'm not going
oh my goodness.
by choice.
Okay.
I need to take the week
It's
off.
been a few years since I've been down. I'm missing it. I used to go every year for many, many years.
It looks like it's gonna be a perfect.
Yeah, the weather's been good.
Yeah.
I think the power will be.
Olafalbo's 2 under after 5.
That's all.
Love it.
He actually won me a pool once, way back when he won it. I actually picked his square in a pool, and I was like, "Who the heck is this Olafalbo guy?"
Yeah.
Sure enough, he won it that year.
So I'm just going to refrain from any business discussion.
All right.
Very good.
I'm going to voice the same. This has been very educational. I do appreciate it. And the transparency, as he said, is very good to feel. There's some areas that I see that I need to study up on, and hopefully if we can attend the next meeting, we'll maybe have some comments about it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Angie, anything from you?
Nope.
Catherine, any final comments?
I'm good, thank you.
You feeling good today? Everything's working like it should? Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'm cheering for you, Catherine. Mayor Oliver, do you have any comments before we close out today?
No, sir, I sure don't.
All right. Well,
Appreciate everybody.
thank you very
Thank you.
much for joining in with us. We appreciate you staying engaged with our process. And then, do we have anybody else?
Joel.
Joel, we didn't hear from you.
I don't even know that he's on there anymore.
Thanks. Joel left.
Joel left.
Joel left
How
the chat.
about that?
Dolly called.
All right. Well, unless there is I was going to say by acclamation, but I think I'm getting a little bit too fancy. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A motion second. Any further discussion?
I hereby acclaim that this is.